For me, it started when I was pretty much in high school. There was a company called Spot Up out here in LA. My cousin, he was a probation officer with my cousin, and they made basketball gear, and I was a junior in high school. And I went to him and I was like, yo, dog, I'm about to blow up. You know what I mean? I'm about to be like the #1 player in the country. Let me get like 30% of the company. I'll rock this shit. You know, I give it to all my homeboys. We can really make some money. And he was like with the plan. And then, you know, obviously I went to college and he didn't want to pay me. You know what I mean? And like I was rocking all this stuff in college. And then I just like gave it away to my teammates and stopped rocking it. So from that point, it was like, I was always an entrepreneur, right? I was always going to make sure that I just tried shit, right? You know, and I knew my self-worth and my self-value, and I wasn't afraid to like try stuff, you know what I mean?
All right.
My guy who was the head marketing, sports marketing at Sprite was leaving. And I was like, yo, what you doing? Like, I need this money, you know, like, I need to, like, go, if I can collect, you know what I mean? If I can go collect this first wave of money, like, I know I get a shoe deal, a beverage deal, NBA contract, and then I'll get signed some cards, and, you know, whatever happens, happens. Nothing else is really gonna happen depending on performance. So I needed the, like, beverage deal. Yeah. And he was like, man, don't worry, I'm gonna take care of you. And I was like, damn, what do you mean? You leaving? Where you going? He was like, man, I'm going to this company, don't worry about it. I was like, he was like, I got this guy over there. I was like, no, I don't know this dude. Like, I'm gonna get buried, you know what I mean? Like, and plus, I don't have like a real infrastructure, right? Yeah. So I was like, where you going? He was like, Vitamin Water. I was like, man, that shit nasty, dude. I would never go there, dude. Do not do that. My homeboy drinks it. It gives me diarrhea when I work out. I'm telling you, don't do it. And he was like, no, dude, this is a great company. The founders, everybody is incredible. And I was like, man, well, I'm going with you. And he was like, no, you're not. We ain't got no money for you. I was like, I don't care. Like, I got enough money. And he was like, well, we can't market you. I was like, well, dude, I'm already like, I'm in New Orleans. Like, how much bigger am I gonna get it, you know, being in New Orleans, you know what I'm saying? And so basically I was like, yo, what if I took less, right? And you don't even have to pay me. You know what? Like, and it was almost like this like young cocky kid saying, man, I make so much money that, you know, I don't even want to pay the taxes on, you know, $1,000, you know what I mean? Not six figures, but I don't want to pay the taxes, man. Just give me that shit in equity. I'd rather like own a piece of the company than have some company just marketing me. And that was just like a young brass dude, like really kind of like building myself my own ecosystem, right? And so once I told them that, like, y'all didn't have to pay me for marketing, they was like, oh hell yeah, this is a hell of a deal. And from that point, I started to hang with my guy, Matt, and he was a marketing guy, and so I would watch him recruit and how he kind of worked in the marketing and worked with the team. And they started out with basically it was like a team of 5, then 7, then 9. And by the time they got to 9, my season was over, and I was hosting them in Vegas for the Bernard Hopkins fight at my house. And I did a full presentation, because before the season was over, they came to me and they were like, yo, they were like, you tell him. I was like, tell me what? It was like, we're gonna sign like a rapper. I was like, who the fuck are you gonna sign? I was like, 50 Cent. I said, oh man, y'all about to be out of here, dude. Like, this is about to be, I was like, are you sure? I was like, hell yeah, you know who 50 Cent is? It was like, man, they tell us it's a good, and so, I'm dead serious. They was like, yeah, and they were like, yeah, see, we did it. They're like, yeah, we told you. And I was like, man, y'all super hip. I'm like, that's why, you kind of I took the lead because you guys know what's happening. And once like the 50 Cent shit happened, and then a rapper at the time, I came home and I heard like Dr. Dre had signed a rapper from Compton. And I played basketball against him, and he played with my homeboy. So I was like, damn, dude, like, this could be dope, dog. Like, I can have, like, fuck being an agent. Like, I can, like, have a rapper, build a whole crew, have an entertainment company. So I did a presentation for Vitamin Water, and the rapper Game was in my presentation about how, you know, I was like proud to be a part of like what they were doing and saw what they do with 50 Cent, but there's a whole new wave and a generation of like young athletes and young rappers and things like that, you know, I would love to be responsible for, getting it in a film, getting it in the songs, things like that. And so then they were like, yo, man, you can invest in the company. I was like, okay. And I invested in Vitamin Water, and from that point it was just like, I kind of sat back and then played basketball for a little bit. And I was like, yo, this shit is working. You know what I mean? And that's just like kind of like, I know it's a long story, but that's like kind of how like my entrepreneurial spirit went. It was just like I was so young and eager to disrupt because I wasn't really included. I started a company, ibeatyou.com, and I want to say 2004. We had got like 1 million uniques a month.
Nice.
It was a social network based on competition. So basically you would wake up and you would like compete against your friends, and then it was all on the web and shit. And you know, like this, remember the cinnamon challenge and the old one, all that stuff. So we partnered with like Kev Jumba, Ryan Higa, Jessica Alba. We had like a bunch, it was cool. But we had like timed the market wrong, right? Mm-hmm. And when we needed to go raise money, the market had dried up. So you just learn what, you know, building startups. I did that. I built like 2 months later, when I was in San Francisco, I built a platform called a Team Play, and it was Match.com for mentors. So I wanted to do a case study around kids in inner city Oakland and figure out how like the classroom was being manipulated, because I was one of those kids who was a disruptor in the classroom, but I could also fall back and be a student. And so we figured that the 20% of the class were actually leaders if you turn them on their head and give them responsibility, and you give them some type of mentor, and the mentor would then not have the responsibility of being a big brother and a big sister and overexhausting their resources, right? If somebody says I need some money like in the next 30 days, or like we're closing our round in like 2 weeks, like run, you know? I learned what due diligence meant. And I think learning what due diligence meant really helped me like not do a lot of things. Because I'm a very like, hell yeah, let's go, let's do it. And then like, for me, I get an opportunity to understand the person, right? So I get a chance to read you like I would my teammate. But at the same time, now I've removed myself from looking at your business. I have qualified people looking at your business. So when the due diligence comes back and it's like, hey dude, like your facts aren't checking out, you know what I mean? Then it's a matter of, you know, what that friendship, what that relationship, that business relationship, and it allows, you know, either that person to have leverage or me to have leverage. You know, you learn a lot by, you know, your highs, right, more than your lows, right? Because when you're high and people are, you know, lifting you up on that chariot and rubbing your shoulders and massaging your feet, you know, you forget how vulnerable you are. And so when you fall, you know, it ain't the bottom, it's the top that you remember, and it's the top that you're afraid of. So I think, you know, your highs is what allows you to become more and more grounded to continue to build. And, you know, the bottom is who you are and your true tested character.